Final Fantasy IX, the last traditional Final Fantasy, is a unique game. It stood at the precipice of change at Square Enix, a time where the old was being swapped for the new, and traditions were being cast aside for trailblazing innovations. Going back to it after all these years has shown me that its flaws as a game still stand, but ultimately its charm and whimsical fantasy win out. So let's re-examine the party members of Final Fantasy IX and find out who is best.
Roll call, Dane.
Now, FF9 really only has a few conditions for placing party members. The game is pretty linear and party member choice isn't available till long past the halfway point. Once there though, you have full access to the party, so availability is pretty consistent. When it comes to stats, there are two that stand out as most important. Speed, which determines how often you attack, and MP. Now, Final Fantasy IX has a damage cap of 9999, so when placing party members, there's 3 questions you have to ask yourself. How soon can they hit that damage cap? How easy is it to get there? And how much MP does it cost? Once in the late game, damage doesn't change, so efficient damage becomes key. Finally, because of this, late game usefulness is more versatility than just straight up damage. Support skills, key enemy debuffs, and how useful one's trance upgraded abilities are, along with efficient damage, ultimately makes up our tier criteria. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and if you would like early access to videos along with an entire library of exclusive content, join our Patreon for only $1 a month. Alright, now that we understand the criteria, let's move on to the list. Oh, and be sure to stick around to the end where we'll reveal the optimal party along with the bonus list. We'll start with the tier. Garnet is the least useful party member throughout almost the entirety of the game. At every point, she has some sort of handicap holding her back. In the early game, she has no damaging skills, only receiving her first summon in the mid-game. In the mid-game, there's a story section where she has a chance of being unable to perform magic. In the late game, the best things she can offer is healing and summon damage, which ends up being the single most inefficient way of damaging the enemy. In order to optimize Garnet's damage with summons, you must get 99 of the corresponding jewels. This is a tedious process that proves to be difficult for her late game summons, and even if done, summons are some of the most MP expensive attacks in the game. On top of all this, her trance ability is the second worst trance in the title, really providing zero utility aside from slightly boosting summons. Overall, Garnet's terrible utility, heavy MP cost, lack of key white magic, poor damage, and grindy optimization make her the worst party member in Final Fantasy IX. The low tier. Amarant is a jack-of-all-trades character. His throw ability isn't really worth mentioning as its damage never reaches any point of note and wastes precious and expensive items. His unique ability, Flare, is useful as it provides some of the best versatility in the title. Chakra restores HP and MP. Aura gives auto life and regen, and he can revive party members. His return magic passive makes him ideal against certain magical bosses, and he has a high natural strength stat that allows him to hit upper damage in the endgame with his normal attack. Now, all of that might sound awesome, but the very existence of Quina makes Amarant obsolete. First of all, without trance, all of Amarant's flare skills are single target. His trance makes them party or enemy wide, but it will be rare that you hit that state when you need it. On top of this, Quina not only matches him in utility, but surpasses him while also giving a guaranteed 999 damaging attack. Amarant has no guaranteed max damage attack, which means that he'll struggle to keep up with even the mid tier of this list. The only true utility Amarant has is being an MP battery for the team, as Chakra is one of the 2 skills that heals MP. This makes him ideally paired with someone like Steiner or Vivi, but in the end, Amarant has no place in an optimal team. Steiner is a beast of a physical attacker with some of the highest HP and defense in Final Fantasy IX. He's the least accessible member aside from Amarant in the game, but by the time the party selection opens up, he's always available. Steiner's maximum damage comes from his devastating ability, Shock. Shock will easily hit the 9999 damage cap, and he provides the best strat for beating Tantarion early with Minus Strike. When paired with Vivi, his magic sword in the early game does amazing damage, but it requires 2 party members and Steiner's MP. Finally, Steiner has Charge, which if you have a physical attacking party fully leveled and geared, can do awesome damage in the late game. Now, the reason Steiner landed on the low tier is simple. Steiner has terrible MP, meaning he'll require support from other party members to be optimized. All this to do 9999 damage, which can easily be done more efficiently by other party members like Freya and Quina. Despite the obvious usefulness of charge, it also creates a dilemma because without a strict strength-based team of Freya, Zidane, and Amarant, it isn't very useful. The mid-tier. Vivi stands as one of the best early and mid-game party members. Once you unlock cheaper methods of damage in the mid to late game, he drops off some, but still has a few tricks up his sleeve. Unfortunately, to make him optimized for the late game, it requires a specific team comp and build. The most famous of these builds is the Reflect strat. Giving your team auto-reflect and using the Reflect ×2 ability, Vivi can bounce 2 spells off of the party. The second strat is the Doomsday build, which if you equipped everyone with Shadow Element Absorption armor and have Vivi cast Doomsday, it will hit all enemies while healing the party. His focus ability becomes obsolete in the late game, but his trance ability, which lets him cast 2 black magic spells and is one of the best in the game, serves to deal out incredible single and multi-target damage, especially with the Reflect build. Now I think the downsides of Vivi are probably obvious at this point. First, auto-reflect makes any party-wide spells useless, which means that you're going to be dependent on auto-regen and potions for healing. Also, the MP cost for optimal damage is immense and will require MP support from Ethers, Amarant, or Freya to keep it going. All in all, Vivi's optimization is one of the most complex in the game, leaving him in the mid-tier. Zidane, and yes, I call him Zidane, you'll be alright, is the first party member to appear on the list that has a guaranteed 9999 damaging attack in Thievery. This ability costs only 8 MP and has fixed damage based on the amount of successful steals times Zidane's speed stat. Steal in itself is a god tier ability used to gain the best items and weapons throughout an entire playthrough. Zidane is also the only required party member, so you'll use him no matter what. Now, despite having a guaranteed max damage ability that is cheap to use and having the steal skill, Zidane isn't amazing. First, in order to get to the coveted 9999 damage with Thievery, you'll have to successfully steal between 400 and 700 times. Essentially, Zidane from the beginning of the game to the end will need to focus on stealing items and not attacking. All of that to do something that other players can do effortlessly. Zidane's faults don't stop there though. His trance is the worst trance in the game and counter to his optimal build, giving you attacks that will rarely hit the damage cap. Despite all of this, Still and his natural speed go a long way in a playthrough. The top tier. Eiko outclasses Garnet in every single way from utility and support to damage optimization. She's easily one of the best magic-based party members in the game. First of all, Eiko's Book of White Magic spells is optimal with Curaga, Full Life, Asuna, and the all-important Holy. Holy is the only damaging white magic spell in the game, and it's exclusive to Eiko. On top of all that, Eiko's summons actually have utility beyond damage. Phoenix hits the enemy while reviving fallen party members. Depending on which gem is equipped, Carbuncle will cast Reflect, Vanish, Shell, or Haste on the party, and Maydeen matches Ark's damage. Finally, Eiko's trance is the single best trance in the game, allowing her to cast 2 white magic spells in a single turn. With this ability, she can revive and heal the entire party, cast multiple buffs, or most importantly, cast Holy twice. If you equip Holy Element boosting equipment like the Holy Miter, Eiko will easily hit the 9999 damage limit, making her a solid choice for any endgame team. The God tier. Freya is easily the most efficient damager in this title. Her Dragon Crest skill costs 16 MP, and its damage is tied to the amount of dragons you kill throughout Final Fantasy IX. A player only needs to slay 100 dragon enemies to lock in the damage cap of Dragon Crest, and this can be done as early as Disc 1. This means that Freya will reach maximum damage sooner than any other party member. Now, beating 100 dragons Disc 1 is not easy, but as soon as you get the airship and Quina gains level 5 death, you can one-shot Grand Dragons, meaning you will easily hit damage cap. All of this doesn't even take into account her usefulness and support. White Draw restores the entire party's MP, making it more effective than Amarant's Chakra. Also, Rise's Wind is a party-wide regen spell you get pretty early on. Freya's trance allows her jump attack to last 3 turns, which means she's invulnerable during that time. There's almost no downside to Freya other than her availability in the early and mid game, but aside from that, she's just one away from being the best party member of the game. But unfortunately for Freya, Quina exists. Quina is, without argument, the single best party member in Final Fantasy IX. First of all, she has a dirt cheap guaranteed 9999 attack and frog drop, which is harder to acquire than Freya's Dragon Crest, but much easier than Zidane's Thievery. You simply need to collect frogs in the marshes until you reach around 100 frogs. But Quina's uselessness is only partially due to her damage. Quina's blue magic proves to be game-breaking in so many ways. Angel's Snack is a party-wide status ailment heal, essentially a remedy that hits everyone. Night puts all units on the battlefield to sleep with 100% accuracy. As long as your party has insomnia and the enemy, even bosses, aren't immune to sleep, this acts as one of the most game-breaking abilities in this title. Mighty Guard gives the party Protect and Shell and can be acquired as soon as you recruit Quina, and all of that doesn't even take into consideration the level 5 Death Exploit for the Granite Dragons, or her Healing and Revive spell. Magic Hammer can make Ozma's AI wig out, and I feel like I should just stop there. Quina is immensely broken, and if used correctly, will guarantee you win every battle without issue. Now as for the optimal party, the best combo is Zidane, Freya, and Quina with their damage attacks maxed out, along with Aiko for additional damage and support. Have Zidane and Freya focus on damage, with Quina acting as a secondary damage dealer, support, and debuffer. Aiko becomes your main support and secondary damager as well. And that's our list. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe so you can see my other updated lists of the Final Fantasy series coming soon. Thank you to all my subscribers, and if you want to become a member of the Local Name family, join Patreon for only $1 a month. Bonus round! Top 10 best NPCs in Final Fantasy IX. Number 10, Pickle Grandma. Number 9, Hornblower. Number 8, Grumpy Old Man who doesn't have his coffee. Number 7, the chick Zidane hits on at the bar. Number 6, Sir Fratley. Number 5, Aaron the Pilot. Number 4, Blank. Number 3, Marcus. Number 2, Lonnie. And number 1 has to be General Beatrix. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you didn't catch it, I also redid my Final Fantasy XII jobs tier list, so you can check that out here. I've also linked the playlist of my PS2 RPGs I've beaten so far. Thanks for watching and have a good day.